Welcome to the openers of the Unoriginal Quickbuilds tournament. The rules are simple. 2 contestants have 30 minutes, a 24x24 block arena, and a theme just given to them. If one can beat the other in scale, detail, and originality for a score out of 30, they move on to the intermediates, and perhaps onto winning the Rose Cup.
My name's Ben. Got the big balls.
How are you feeling going into it?
I'm great.
What do you do in your free time?
What do I do in my free time? Watch
Yeah.
hentai.
Oh, fuck me.
I'm Mincat and I have been playing Minecraft for 4 years.
Okay, cool,
4
cool.
years, that's wild.
4 years, wow, I hope you, I hope you...
6 years, bro.
Oh,
be
we're
back in.
talking numbers here. How long have I been playing? Okay, let me think.
How long, bro? I got
I check all my accounts.
Well, you see, I think, Max, the thing
what I
is,
thought
I think
beforehand.
we've been playing for longer than these guys have had consciousness, which is pretty wild.
No, I'm realizing that too, yeah.
We weren't talking about you guys. It was just me and Sleeping Cat, alright? You guys are out of this argument.
I thought you were asking Max.
You guys aren't involved, bro.
Okay,
Yeah, it would be a bit
okay.
unfair, you know?
You guys are too old.
Yeah, we must be like old people to you. That's a
Yeah,
scary
that
thought.
is pretty weird. As a kid, I used to play in this faction server. I used to, because I was pretty good at building. I used to play as in this factions world with a bunch of these guys who actually, now that I think about it, were probably just around my age now. But at the time, I thought they were like pushing 30 or something. But like, because they were coming back from a job. Half of our friends have jobs. You know, it's not that out there. And so it's just so
yeah,
weird.
true.
I'm them now. That's
Yeah.
so strange.
We're the older guys playing with
Oh,
the kids.
oh god, oh Jesus. All of these trapdoors give the next theme, and so what I'm going to do is throw eggs above each trapdoor, and when the eggs pop open, we get to choose that specific. If you could get, yeah, thanks. Fantasy is your theme. This is a good
That's
one.
so
I like this
vague.
one. I like this one.
That's so vague.
Yeah, that's the point. Are you both ready to get permissions and etc.?
Yes.
Cool.
You ready, Sleeping Cat?
Oh, my heart is in pain right now.
Yeah, I'm really nervous.
Don't worry, it really has no effect on the rest of your life.
No, you should be nervous. This is a very exciting time.
Motivated.
You want to lift them up, Stuart? Come on.
Right, sorry. This is incredibly important, and if you fail, your family will hate you
Are we
for
allowed
years
to
to come.
start?
So I'm going to start the timer in 3, 2, 1. Good luck, you have 30 minutes. So he's building a giant mushroom by the looks of it. I quite like it. They're going for 2 very different interpretations, I think, anyway, from the set out. I think he's going more for like a sort of magical fantasy, and I think he might be able to prove me wrong, but I have a feeling what's his username, Pacific, is going to go for sort of a medieval type fantasy rather than a magical type fantasy. But at the moment it's difficult to tell what he's planning from the set out, because right now it just looks like some extra detailed water. So this could be very,
There's
sorry
alarms
about the
going.
car alarm. It could be a very cool build if, you know, he maybe put some like lighting or something underneath the mushroom to give it a bit more of that magical effect. I don't know what Sleeping Cat is going for here with
I'm
this.
quite excited for Sleeping Cat's build, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of room, you know, for something to be birthed. Here, I think the idea is already visible. It's going for a sort of magical fantasy. Not that I don't like the idea. I actually do quite like it.
There's something drastic is happening. There's floating stone.
Oh, maybe he's building like a little dragon or something. Oh, just be careful. If he's going over the line, we have to shave. He's trying to use gravel in a floating
This
build.
stupid twat. He's incredible.
Okay, it's not that bad.
Shame, guys.
God damn, it's not that bad. Jesus. I mean, it's nice texture. It's just obviously, you know, it falls. Oh, he's building little floating islands. I see. That's nice. That's very nice.
Interesting.
That's very nice. Oh, I like that a lot, actually. Oof, I'm excited.
I don't want to have to choose a winner.
Oh, yeah. You're in the wrong place, dog.
There was some harsh fucking scores on this side that I saw.
Oh.
I swear, so you gave someone a 3.8 for
Oh my god, look at Michael's build though on this triple build. Look at it. Look at what the fuck.
What does he build that? Gave him an 11.
Yeah, this is the lowest score I think we've ever
What
had.
was he-
The theme was macro build, which I thought was a terrible idea, but they thought was great. Macro build I don't like. I don't like any build that sort of expects you to build something that already exists in real life and you can't interpret anything on top of it. Macro build is like building something small but on a large scale. There's no room for originality really, because all you can do is build stuff that already exists but bigger, which is why I like the sort of genres we have. Let's see how they... Oh, he's adding some variation in the mushroom now. Very nice.
Okay, little dots here and there.
I think Sleeping Cat is going for a tree.
Very environmental.
Very much both going for the environment type look, type beat.
I think that's kind of what fantasy is, though, largely.
Yeah, I think fantasy. When I think of fantasy, I think of sort of world building. I'm really gonna love like this whole pyramid being filled. Like it's gonna look so cool. Like everyone having their own build and stuff.
Mega poggers.
Dude, I thought you said something else, dog. Dog, I
Dude,
really
whenever
thought you said
anybody says mega.
Yeah, I
mega.
was like, yo, what the fuck?
Edit that out. I did not say the N word.
M for mommy.
M for mommy. He's using like stairs, like plank stairs for the tree. It's so funky.
Yeah, very clearly sort of different approaches. Going for mini trees rather than... I wonder if this is supposed to be like a mini build almost. Like he's building a mini world, because I could see being like half a block smaller and this feeling like, you know, a bigger build with an actual floating island and stuff. So maybe that's what he's going for.
That's why I like mini builds.
Exactly. That's why I didn't make the genre, like I didn't make one of the topics mini, because you can do that for any theme. It's the same with macro. If you want to make your thing macro, like this build off is a perfect example. Mini and macro are right here. But if the theme was macro, you would just have to... It's so stunting to imagination.
What's his name? The Sleeping Cat and what's the guy?
MrOtterGuy.
I hope Otter does some stuff with the surrounding area.
Oh yeah. I really hope that bone meal is just temporary. But you know, honestly, we have to give him points for putting bone meal at all, because look at the first round. These guys just didn't think of it. Especially the very first area here, this was made out of moss. It could have been really cool to bone meal the moss, and you would get those new moss blocks that come from bone mealing moss blocks.
Oh yeah.
It would have been really cool, but they just, I guess they didn't think of it. I don't know. I'm really glad we found like talented people. They just all happen to be, you know, good at building, because this stuff is, you know, I haven't seen a, you know, terrible build yet. Obviously I have my preferences, but these are all good builds.
They all seem quite nice. They're like quite friendly people.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. I'm hopping in to tell you have half time. I'm just wondering sort of how you're feeling about your build so far.
I feel a bit underrated. He built a giant mushroom, which I was planning to do also, but I first decided to make a waterfall.
Right, yeah.
It is now.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about comparing yourself. Just focus on what you're doing. Don't even worry about the other guy. Just you do you. Hello.
Half time.
Yeah, a little under. You've got 14 minutes left instead of 15. I just want to get your thoughts. How you're feeling? How it's going?
I think I'm doing alright, just a little bit nervous, got a bit of neck pain currently.
Neck pain?
Yeah.
Oh, shame, dog. Okay, I hope that gets better. But yeah, good luck. I'm glad that there's a little bit of lighting coming out of the mushroom now. Oh, I really hope there's some cool interior. He's been inside the mushroom for quite some time, so he's probably building a cute little interior mushroom, which is really cool. And I hope he has enough time to go and do some exterior stuff.
I want to look on the inside.
Yeah, I don't wanna interrupt him.
What if he's just doing nothing in there?
What if he just disconnected by mistake? Mine go to Timmel.
Are you watching Dark?
9.
One thing I will say about Dark, not the show, this guy's build. I get.
That's not a sentence. Sorry. He also going for a mushroom.
I joined him half time, and he said, I'm actually really upset because I was planning a mushroom, but I wanted to do the environment first. And I was like, oh, don't worry about it. It's almost that's kind of cool, because it almost seems like this left
that
build
is a macro of
yeah, exactly. It's a more
macro
macro version of the mini version. Like that's
you should do like a corner of a sky island.
Yeah. Still, it's pushing 7:30. And he's still working only on the interior. Oh, I did not see this. Got to be careful though. Anyway, yeah, they do need to be careful about those sort of barriers. Oh, he's using different blocks. That's cool. There is clearly a lot more detail happening in terms of the amount of things that are being built here. But I don't feel like there's a continuing main structure that's popping out at me from Sleeping Cat's build. Like, I don't feel like there's something, you know, that draws the eye in, per se. I feel like the most notable part are the mushrooms, and they are like sort of in a back corner. Feels a bit off. Adding a pathway and some bone meal, I think, would make a big difference. Like a pathway from the entrance. Oh, he's already done that. Okay, he's already done that, yeah. I think he could definitely use to put some other stuff around here. He's gonna try and put a spruce tree. It's not gonna grow next to that campfire. You know what? It actually might. Let's see if I'm right or wrong. Will it grow? Oh shit. Yeah, grew into me. I feel like he might have the same issue as Sam in that he feels like filling most of his plot up with spruce trees will save the fact that this is clearly, you know, most of it's not built in. Which it does, it saves a lot, because the difference between putting nothing and putting spruce trees is incredibly vast, for example. But, you know, it means they can't necessarily get something like a 10, which was given to Honeydew over here.
Bad guys here.
What, Max?
What Max is saying, I hear it.
I'm
and
sorry,
feel
I'm
it.
in Discord with you. I'm refereeing somebody's building competition in Minecraft. It's not. I'm redonkulous.
It's not
joking.
redonkulous. Put me on.
Hi, Stuart.
Hello. This is not redonkulous. This is a very sophisticated building competition, and Max is an esteemed judge in this. Okay. So how dare you redonkulous my build competition?
I think building competition is obviously, I'm in full support of that as a
Right.
architecture student. But,
Oh, of course. Naturally, yes. Yeah.
I feel Max's attitude was
Oh yeah. Oh, Max's attitude. Now we're on the same page. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, that's fair. Oh my God, look at this. He's going for tiny mini mushrooms with
That's really
end rods. I'm really liking the detail on Sleeping Cat's side. I mean, there's very little here that isn't detailed. Even this flat area that could have been left flat is built up a little bit. I mean, it's very nice. I will say though, I'm loving the detail all over this this big mushroom here. It's very satisfying to look at. And I know that there's got to be an interior, so that'll probably up his score for detail as well. But either way, they're both looking very effort filled, and it feels like they've used the space well.
Indeed, I am feeling very high scores for these both.
Yeah, agreed. Dude, who's trying to knock me out? Oh my God, he's refusing to use his last 15 seconds.
The arrogance on
And
this guy.
that's
Must be
time. So just before we get into the judging phase, I just wanted to ask both of you to explain your builds, explain your thought processes, because that might help with originality, how you look at your own build, how you think, how you thought about it. So let's go with Otter's first.
Well, I didn't really. After you said the Lord of the Rings, you know, sort of a hobbit hole, full
Right.
of mushroom and a big house underneath inside the.
Oh, let me
can't
open
open
the
the
door.
door.
Yeah, let me open the door. Right. Oh, I see. Very sort of
And
compact
it's
feel.
more- Yeah, just like a hobbit hole, and I thought it would be sort of nice to create that sort of environment. And the dripstone just to make it look a little bit more old, and it's been there for
Yeah.
a while.
Go ahead and explain your side of things, Sleeping Cat.
So doing fantasy, I apparently remembered some builds I did a while ago. Which included mushrooms. Because mushrooms you see in some anime fantasy you watch it. Mushrooms are part of it. But Otter, you might think it's topping, yeah, but
Yeah, that's
because-
fine. That's fine.
I mean,
That's
yeah.
perfect, that's really fine.
What can you do
Because
if
use
you
different
both?
blocks and everything.
Also, yeah, if you both have the same thought and one happens to do it first, there's no real way you can prove that. So we're just gonna trust that you. Oh, there is a little bit of overhang here though. That's yeah.
So I'm the person that they will try to add a bit of story behind it.
Right.
So you
Yeah.
go behind you go behind here, right? There's like one campfire here, so it's very
Oh.
like a campfire watch.
Oh my
Oh,
God,
wow.
that's such a nice touch. Oh wow, I did not expect that.
Already survival was there. So I would like to add some story behind it, like as if you have mentioned thing like that.
Yeah, please
So
go.
the like mushroom is like the fungus.
Oh, what's that
thing
pink
over
in the
here.
tree?
It's a
That's so
flower
cool.
block. Oh,
That's
and
It's a
so
flower
cool.
block,
I can see the
Flower block.
spores as well. Like on my
Yeah.
screen, you see the green spores that are like floating
Oh
around the
my
air.
goodness, dude, that's so cool.
Such
Is
a
that
lovely
from?
note. Yeah, it's from the flower. Yeah.
That was meant to add atmosphere to make it look better. It's meant to add atmosphere.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's succeeded.
So I ordered added floating islands also.
Mhm.
So it used to be like a floating island and people make a fortress out of it, making like a kingdom out of it in
Right,
the
yeah.
skies. I would have added more detail, like more in depth. Like
Right,
the ground
yeah.
would be more.
I'm interested to see what
The
people
ground-
can do with 45 minutes, because that's what the next section is. The intermediates have 45 minutes, so I'm interested to see what extra levels of detail we start seeing in that section. Hey everyone, Editor Stuart here. I just want to pop in to say that some of the point scores of the judging section of this round were changed in post. It's the only round it's been done for, don't worry, it doesn't happen often. But there were two specific reasons why this happened this round. One of which was because Maximus Prime, as much as we love him, is a new judge on this round and he hadn't watched the previous 2 videos or didn't really fully comprehend like the specific way we do the judging system. However, he was on top of that very confident with throwing out numbers, and so the point scores were skewed based on him trying to gauge like sort of an understanding of how we give out points. And the other reason is because we developed a slightly different way of judging past this round because we realized our mistake here. It hadn't been brought up in round 1 or 2, which is why we don't need to change the point scores of those rounds. But basically, we weren't being pessimistic like we are now. And what do I mean by that? Let's say there are 3 judges like there are in this round. So let's say one gives a 9, a 9, and the last one gives an 8.5. Now, in the past, aka rounds 1 to 3, we would just throw it out to the 9. Just be like, okay, cool, the majority vote, let's give it to the 9. But now, so that the third judge has a bit more, actual weight, if there's a 0.5 difference between majority votes, then what we do is give it to the lower 0.5, because let's say it was 899, the score would go to 8.5, sure, but let's say it's like 8.599, it's like the 8.5 doesn't even exist. It's it's pointless for it to be there. And we felt like we would judge in a more pessimistic sense from that point onwards, so that the third judge actually had a bit of value in a build-off where the judges are agreeing quite a lot, especially when their scores are very high. We feel like it can just kind of be taken off the rails if 2 judges give a 10 and one gives a 9.5, and the 9.5 isn't even considered because a 10 is a big deal. And for this round, I think we really realized that when, well, no spoilers, you'll see what our original point scores were before I jump in to correct them in post, and you'll see the reason we now judge pessimistically, and it goes like that from the 4th round onwards, which is why we haven't had any problems up to the 7th round, which is where we are at the time of me recording this. So if there are any different point scores, Editor Stuart's voice will be popping in and just sort of saying like, yo, it's actually this now. In the same vein, the numbers at the end of the video will be changed to reflect the updated numbers. So the little signs that come up at the end for the verdict, no spoilers, won't say what they are, won't be reflecting what we actually say in the recording. So just to mitigate any confusion, this is why Editor Stuart has had his say. So I hope you enjoy the judging section of this video. And if you have any guesses of who's going to win, comment them down below, see if it was correct. I fucking can't do this mid-roll ad editor shit. Watch the video. There
Okay.
we go. We're gonna start off with scale for MrOtterGuy's build here. Yeah, I would say he filled up his space very nicely, and if we take a look at height as well, it's wide and goes high up. Similar with Sam's though, I have to say, it's kind of like a
Like there's a build
filling
fill
up space with trees, and it almost makes you feel like it should be something like a 10 for scale, but then you're like, hold on, how long did it take him to place those trees, and that bone meal? The main build is obviously this huge mushroom, which is big, but I don't personally think that this is worth.
I would say I'd give it like a 7.
I would probably be inclined to say 8.
I'll give it an 8 too.
Are we all going 8? Okay.
Yeah,
Alright, cool.
8.
Otter's scale score has been updated to a 9. Then we're gonna do scale on Mr. Sleeping Cat.
That's a solid 10.
10. It's a 10.
Yeah,
It
I
has
think
to be.
I think
It's
he
either a
filled
9.5 or a 10.
he filled it up beautifully. Every inch of this is filled up. It all has effort put into it. Even these tiny little mounds, he alternated the blocks.
Mushrooms.
And even the space that shouldn't be filled up, he filled up, stuff he could have left, he didn't. He filled every inch of it and decided to go higher up as well. He utilized the sky limit. No one to this day has utilized the depth limit. Like, no one has gone down. And the day somebody does that, I will have to be inclined to give them like a bajillion percentage, because I really want that to happen.
Literal bonus points.
I don't know. It is very well filled up. However, everything is very small that is filled up. So I'm actually going to say 9 rather than 10, because it is possible to fill up your build with something very large, as we've seen in Honeydew's build here. It's enormous, and it's all, one large structure that fills up almost all of it. These small structures that do contribute, fill it up very nicely, but I think, I'm more wanting to transfer that to detail rather than scale. I'd say 9 for scale. 2 10s and a 9 make it a 10. Sleeping Cat's scale score has been updated to an 8.5. Then we're going to move on to detail on Otter's side. I will say it's obviously details related to what is there. The interior is beautiful.
Exquisite.
Beautiful. Look at this detail. I mean, it's just amazing. There's wood where the like ferns are. There are barrels. There are these tiny little tables, these beds, these trap doors, smithing tables.
Nothing in the barrels.
I mean, this is an incredible. I could see why he spent so much time on it. This is an incredible amount of detail. Obviously, we're marking the detail of what
These guys are so good at building.
Yeah, what is built. This big mushroom doesn't have a lot of detail, but I don't think that it detracts from the build at all. I think that's kind of the point. The only thing I would say that has very, very little detail is this chimney. It's just all the same stone with no variation. But other than that, he's added sort of ivy creeping around the mushroom and went through the effort of, you know, at least filling this area up with bone meal. Oh, he's added a little pond here with mossy stone and stuff. You know, he tried to, you know, sort of throw these little details in here. I would say 9 as well, actually, for detail on this side.
I'm gonna give it a 9.5.
What are you thinking?
Well, I was gonna give it a 10.
Okay, then 9.5 is the middle road.
9.5 it is.
Otter's detail score has been updated to a 9.
Then originality. Oh wait, sorry, we've got to do detail on this guy. 10. 10.
Yeah, 10.
Instant 10, dude.
Yeah.
There, no doubt
10.
in my mind that this should be 11, if anything. Like,
Are you crazy?
definitely-
These guys are so good.
definitely 10.
Can they both win?
No, but they can both
Yeah,
be
I was
pushed
gonna
through
say.
to the next round because the top 4 losers who have the highest scores still move on.
Oh,
So
okay,
this
cool.
guy, whichever loses, is probably going to have one of the highest scores of the losers for sure. Probably have a higher score than most winners if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Originality.
So good.
He heard me say Lord of the Rings, and then he went Hobbit house. And then he ended up with a fucking mushroom Hobbit house. I mean, that's so
This guy's
cool.
obviously not watched
even, but
Lord of
it's-
the Rings.
Yeah,
they
no.
got a lot of rings.
It's like he thought of a Hobbit house and then decided of an original way to interpret that because we heard his thought process, right?
I must say,
And-
the fact that I don't think any of us thought mushrooms like fancy.
yeah.
mushrooms.
If it did none of us think that?
I didn't think that.
I didn't think that.
It's totally
I was
a
really
fantasy-
trying to think of something, and I was-
fantasy thing.
Yeah, I couldn't think of it. Matthew, what about you?
Where are there big mushrooms?
Yeah, I just sort of a magical fantasy
nobody
vibe that
lives in
you just don't sort of
It's
think
like
of.
maybe Smurfs.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait,
Yeah, and like the
Actually,
faraway
wait,
tree. The faraway tree had a
Yeah.
lot of those things. But I mean, this is really, really beautiful. I think it's an
very
incredible interpretation of fantasy. I can't see anything here that's a generic sort of trope, and I also can't see anything here that detracts.
Doesn't fall into.
Yeah, that detract from the fantasy feel. Like, for example, this stone detracted from cozy. I don't see anything here that detracts. I'm inclined to give this a 10.
I declined to give this a 10 for originality.
Unless I give an 8 or lower, I won't.
Well, don't think about it that way. Just honestly, you know, present.
I'd probably
present
give
your
it like
score.
a
Is
9.
there really a way we can give this anything lower than an 8?
No, I'm just saying it's a 10. Like, I might give it a 9. I'm inclined to give it a 9, 9.5.
Okay. Well,
but
no,
it's
it's
10.
I just like to hear everyone's like actual thoughts.
I think I'd probably give it a 9.5 also.
Okay, so then 10 is the final score for originality for Mr. Otter, and then we have the originality for Sleeping Cat. Now, I think when you think
this a 10 personally.
when you think fantasy, I think, you know, that's sort of the trip the Lord of the Rings fellas took, you know, and that was through a
Yeah.
lot of forests, a lot of, you know, rivers, you know, stuff like that. This is a classic
got-
interpretation. However, the mushrooms and the floating islands is what pushes it up for me. But sorry, go ahead, Max.
The fact that in this tiny space, he put 4 fucking biomes.
Pretty much, yeah. But that's, again,
Like-
it's why I gave him a 10 for detail.
No, but like.
But I
think
guess,
also
yeah, it is-
for
no,
originality,
you're right,
it's-
you're right,
it
you're right.
fits in there too. That
True, yeah.
he's managed to like take the idea of fantasy and traveling in a fantastical world, and I think. That's
Yeah,
kind of
and
cool. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
how many
Compact
blocks
it
is this
into
by?
compact it into
combined,
one
like,
place.
Things as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. he hasn't-
Avatar, because of the floating islands. Obviously, the blue people avatar.
Right,
The
yeah.
floating
Oh
islands.
yeah.
I don't even remember that, honestly.
You don't remember James Cameron's Avatar?
No, I don't remember the
What?
floating islands. I don't remember the floating
Dude,
islands.
those
It's one of
are
like
so
the
cool.
highest grossing movies.
Okay, for originality, I would probably say 9.5. One
I'm
of
gonna
those.
give it 10.
Yeah, it's sorry, Stuart. This is another 10.
So on Otter's side, it's 28, and on Sleeping Cat's side, it's 28.5.